where we are comparing the input text of the user with a text field and the password that we previously defined. In this exercise, we are going to create an app that will compare the password we introduce and the one that we have stored. This is a very basic example that will be use text fields, and it will use also control flow statements, okay? If, else, etc. So let's go through the description. This app will be used for validate the password, and at the top a message should indicate whether the password is correct or not, with green text for correct and red for incorrect. It should display a text field for the user to enter the password. So as you can see here in the screenshots, we will introduce a password in the text field, and then a label or a text will say if the password is incorrect or not. We will predefine this password in our code, so we will just compare these two strings, okay? So if you go to the solution, you can go step by step, okay? So let's go to our Xcode project that we already created, and then let's go step by step. So first step, it's going to be to create the text field, all right? So you can use this initializer that it will take a title key and a text. So for title key, this is just the placeholder. So this is the gray text that you will see when the text field is totally empty. So we can put something like introduce your password. And then for the text, we need a string, but this is a binding string. So as we explained in the articles, you don't need to understand what a binding is, that you only need to understand that you have to use the dollar symbol here, okay? So first of all, we are going to define the variable that will store our input of the text field. So that can be called like input text. It will be a string and it will start empty, okay? So this is the variable that will be used here. So again, what binding means is that we have to use this dollar symbol and then our variable. In next articles, we will explain what a binding is, what is this used for, other advanced uses for this. But what you need to understand for now is that we need to use this dollar symbol because the text field is going to update our input text variable. So it's not only one direction. I mean, if we change the value of this input text, then this will change. Like if I put here hello, this variable will change the text in the text field. But there is bidirectional communication. So if the user do a change here and removes one letter, then our variable value will change as well, okay? So yeah, let's see how this will work. We are going to decorate a little bit our text field, like we are going to put an style, just the classic style. Then we'll put some padding that will change later, but it's with this we have some space to the border. So we have our text field defined, okay? So the user can just go here and change or introduce his password. Next step is to compare what the user introduces and the password that we want to be correct, okay? For now, we are going to define just another variable that we are not going to change. That is going to be correct password, will be a string, and we are going to say that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? This is just an example. In the real world, this correct password will be stored in a database, maybe on a remote one or in the device, but this is a value that it will be previously stored, so we just retrieve this value to compare it, okay? But for this example, we can just define here that value, and then from here we will work the same. We will do some if statements in order to compare that the input of the user and the correct password or the actual password is correct, okay? So to show the result of this comparison, I mean to show to the user if the password is correct or not, we are going to use a text here, okay? So we are going to use a label that will say like correct or incorrect. So since we have two elements here, we are going to put this bstack to show both of them. And then the padding, I want it to be applied to the whole bstack, all right, to both elements. So as you can see here, we have this text correct, and maybe we can show the text is incorrect, depending on the input of the user, right? So I want to show only one of them. Actually, apart from that, correct will be green and incorrect will be red, okay? But I don't want to show them both at the same time. I want to show only one or the other one, okay? So I'm going to compare here the input text that the user introduced with the text field. So as I said earlier, the text field will update this input text when the user press any key. I wanted to compare it to the correct password. So in the case that input text is exactly equal that correct password, then we can show, okay, this is correct. In other case, I mean, if this is not exactly the same, then we are going to show the incorrect label, okay? So as you can see here, since this is not correct because it's empty is not the same as 1, 2, 3. It's the label is going to say incorrect. We can put some values here and it will be still incorrect, but in the moment we put something that is exactly the same as the correct password, then we can validate that password, and then we can do, in the real world, we'll do some actions according to this, right? Just giving access to the rest of the app or anything. So this is it. This is the example where we are comparing the input text of the user with a text field and the password that we previously defined.